What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the BlockHash podcast. Today, I have another exciting guest, Adam Pisk, co-founder of a fast-growing remote-only outsourcing enterprise called BruntWork. So we're going to have a great conversation about that today and what they're doing in particular when it comes to outsourcing and remote work with BruntWork. So, Adam, welcome to the show, man. It's a pleasure to have you on. How you doing today?
Excellent. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate the opportunity.
Likewise. To kick it off, would love to know a little bit more about your personal journey, your story, and what kind of led to the creation of BruntWork and what kind of shaped that idea.
So I've been using outsourced stuff since 2001. So I previously was in the manufacturing industry and I was manufacturing machinery and equipment for the mining industry and oil and gas. And I had a problem in Australia at the time. This is 20 something years ago, where I just couldn't get the right engineering experience for the type of product I was manufacturing. And so I started looking offshore to set up engineering teams to help me in that business. And that went on to manufacturing. And really, that business then evolved into several others. And I was in a tech business where at every stage, there were certain roles where it was just hard to find local talent. And so again, I would be looking for offshore talent to supplement the business. And not only did I get really good results with offshore talent in almost any role that we were looking to hire in any business, whether it be engineering, whether it be executive roles, whether it be digital marketing, sales, accounting, HR, etc. It was having a massive difference in my bottom line because I had huge cost savings going to the developing world. So when I was actually living in the Philippines through COVID, and then really saw a large need for companies that then were looking for staff. There was a lot of growth in certain industries through COVID. Some industries collapsed. And then an opportunity where in the developing world, everyone was then working from home. And working from home, even in the businesses that I was running, was working well. So I was the type of person that always had to be in the office and the center of the office, and I was a big believer in the office. But at home, and the staff working from home, what a lot of people don't understand in the developing world is that most staff travel 2 to 4 hours each direction to get to the office. So what really was happening when they were working at home and we set them up with the right infrastructure, the right technology, their productivity was so much better. They were so much happier because they were getting the sleep and at least some level of work-life balance when you're not commuting 8 hours a day in heavy traffic in the back of a jeepney. So that inspired us really to set up and really push BruntWork. And luckily in the beginning, we had some large enterprise clients that came on pretty early that really pushed us along. And now we have over 2,000 companies we support globally.
That's awesome, man. How long have you guys been around again?
We started in around November 2020.
Okay.
So a bit, well, almost 4 years.
So right smack in the middle of COVID, essentially, like kind of on the tail end of that.
Correct.
Yeah, that was quite an interesting time. I think a lot of companies were trying to find a way to outsource and find a way around that global issue that was happening. But things like Zoom ended up taking off, and people found ways to work virtually and remotely. And I can definitely see the appetite for where BruntWork really definitely came up here.
Yeah, well, what sort of people realized during COVID was that because in a lot of parts of the world you couldn't go into an office anyway, if my staff member is working on the other side of my city and they're doing this job from their home, what's really the difference between someone doing that job in the Philippines or in Colombia or in Africa from doing that job? And that opened up the outsourcing. Before that was really the world of big business predominantly. And what it really opened the mind of small business to go, well, the technology now is user-friendly enough and we'd manage someone on the other side of the city working from home. Why can't we look at that globally? And that really spurred the growth.
As an outsourcing company with your guys' model and everything, what separates you guys and makes you unique? What are you guys kind of going for that really kind of sets you apart from any other kind of model or platform out there that might do something vaguely similar?
Yeah. So look, there's 3,500 companies in the outsourcing space. A couple of things that we think differentiate us. One is we're purely work from home. So again, a lot of people in the US, Canada, Australia, etc., where we operate as clients, think going to the office is a great idea because you just get in your nice car and you drive down the highway and you listen to a podcast and it takes 20 minutes and then you're there and then we're all together. And when they're looking in the outsourcing space, which is in the developing world. So, for example, another differentiator, we're in 23 countries. So we have agents 23 countries globally, which gives us a massive talent pool. But in those 23 countries, they're all in the developing world. The average commute time for our staff when we had offices was well over 2 hours in each direction. So you are traveling almost 5 hours a day, the average person. So we looked at that. And again, through COVID, it forced us to really look at the metrics. And we just said, this is like inhuman. Like to take 5 hours of dead time. And in the developing world, you're not in a nice car. You're in public transport, which is an old jeepney in the Philippines or something similar in South America, driving down a bad road with pollution. And it's not that you can have your phone out listening to a podcast because it probably will get stolen. And sick levels, etc., were so much higher. So we basically said, unless there's a good reason, a really good reason for them, we do have office areas for some particular clients that need it for very good reasons. It's not a very good reason to be office based. So we then moved really to the work from home model as a differentiator, and I suppose have become experts in managing stuff to perform in a work from home environment remotely. And so that's one differentiator. The second differentiator is just in terms of brand and network. So again, in our space, it's about who can get the best agents to work for you at the best price. And again, we're in 23 countries. So we have a global talent pool, social media views, etc. on our job postings get in excess. We've had in excess of 30 million views. We have hundreds of thousands of followers. We get 18,000 resumes a month. So we have a very deep pool of strong candidates. So when companies in the US or Canada or Australia, etc., go, I want someone to do this job, we are getting, the best, most people applying to us who want to work for us. So that gives us the opportunity to give the best possible candidates to our clients. And again, the technology to deal with 18,000 plus resumes a month, you've got to have strong technology to sort through that. And we've invested very heavily in AI technology that helps us streamline and match candidates to potential clients. So that's some of the key things. We also recruit for free. There's no obligation. We give you candidates to look at and interview before there's any contractual obligation with us. And if there is a contractual obligation, we only have month-by-month agreements. So there's no lock-in contracts. There's no, you got to sign up for 6 months or 3 months. It's month by month. And if your agent isn't delivering, we'll replace them for free. So, we look at it as having a deep pipeline of candidates and very little risk to clients to try us. And when clients try it, they usually stay because it's a great experience. So, and if it's not, we'll find an agent that's more suitable.
That's actually the next thing I kind of want to dive into was what that process kind of looks like, from like a worker's standpoint. What role do you guys play exactly in some of the processes, I guess, for, vetting someone's skill and talent to be on the platform? Like if you're a worker and you're really good at, copywriting and email marketing or something like that, just for example, and you wanted to like be on BruntWorks platform, how do they get to that point where they're involved?
Yeah. So look, we have a lot of people applying, but again, it's matching the skills and capability and pricing to the role. So there's a couple of steps to that. We have an online process where agents can apply. And when they do that, they go through aptitude testing, which gives us a broad sense of general skills. Then from that point, depending on what role they're going for, we have specific skill testing for particular roles. So if it's like in finance, it might be Excel tests, or accounting, it could be accounting tests that then give us obviously a scoring as well on skill capability. Now, beyond that as well, we have communication. So they send in a voice recording of a particular script, and we've got technology that then analyzes that. That gives us a framework for that candidate. Now, if we then match that candidate to a client, they then go through 2 rounds of actual in-person meaning Zoom, but actual interviews. So then it becomes, we got a sense of the hard skills. Let's talk about the soft skills. Let's understand where you're at. So then 2 rounds of interviews. It's not, we want to hire the best for our clients. So it's easy for someone to apply. It's really the only top 1 or 2%. We're hiring about 600 people a month, which is still a lot of people. But when you talk about 600 out of 18,000, it's a pretty small percentage. So it's not like we're an Upwork freelancer matching thing. We're very involved in specific recruiting to make sure that agents are matched to the right clients and clients are matched to the right agents. And we're the ones with the expertise helping that.
Okay, that makes sense. And then on the client side as well, I imagine that process is very similar too.
Yeah, I mean, we don't put our clients through skill tests or anything like that. We go through a discovery process to understand what they're about. And again, when you're looking for someone to work for you remotely, the hard skills are important, but the soft skills are too. So it's important to understand where that client is at. We offer part-time or full-time agents, which a lot of our competitors don't offer both those options. So you can have someone, for us, a minimum 20 hours a week, so 4 hours a day, or someone full-time, which is usually a 40-hour week. And then depending on what stage that client is at, and we've got clients from this morning, I had a call with a startup and a small startup, to we have clients with hundreds of agents and everything in between. So it's understanding where that client is at, the skill level they need, price points, and then matching the right agents to the clients, and then also explaining to them if they're new to this, how to manage remotely and how to think about it is also part of our onboarding and training with our clients.
Awesome. And then this is a truly global process, right? So like me as a individual in Colombia, let's say with my podcast, I'm trying to hire somebody and I could get matched with someone working in Australia just as easy.
Well, Australia is probably is not the right. Yeah. So we look at with the 23 countries we operate in for agents are all in the developing world. So, Latin America, South America, Africa, Eastern Europe, and a lot of Asia is where we operate. We have clients in more than 12 countries as well. So, we are really looking globally from a client acquisition side and also from an agent talent side, provided all our agents have to speak English. So and potentially another language. So we do English and French and German and Spanish and Arabic and Mandarin, but English is the key.
Is there any language barriers there, or do you also kind of screen workers for bilingual fluency in certain regions?
Yeah. If it's a bilingual role like English and Spanish, then we have a team ourselves in Colombia that will screen for both. Again, if the agents are coming from a Spanish-speaking country, it's likely their Spanish is pretty good. It's more screening their English, and that's part of our standard testing. But we do screen both, and we have expertise in-house in most of the languages that we operate in.
And then once you match a worker, with a client, is that like an independent contract type relationship, or are they an employee, or what does that kind of look like on that side of the spectrum?
So we offer both models actually, and it depends on what the client is looking for. So we do offer EOR, which is Employment of Record Services, which is that full-time employment, or we offer an independent contractor model, which provides more flexibility on both sides. So either or, most go down the independent contractor path, but we do offer both options.
Okay, cool. And then like tax related stuff by country, does that just kind of filter through to the client and to the worker themselves, or does BruntWork have any piece in the middle there?
There's nothing from the client side. So if anyone's looking to hire someone from any other country as the client, you don't have any tax obligation. You deal directly with BruntWork. BruntWork invoices you as a service provider, and you just deal with us as the service provider, uh, as you would any other service that was being provided. It's not that you're paying. It's you don't have any employment law exposure as a client. And then on the agent side, we then deal with all of that. BruntWork does with our agents, depending on what structure they're on. So there's what the clients see is an hourly rate, which is inclusive of everything: payroll, HR, IT support, account management, computer, internet, and that's the rate that they pay, and that's all inclusive, and they don't have any other taxation or risk in terms of employment law exposure. That's where we come in, and that's the value that we add.
Do you have any examples of some successful use cases, whether it's on the worker side or client side, of them using the platform and really kind of enjoying the experience and having it help them?
Yeah, I've got about 2,000 case studies I could give you.
Give
but
me your
look,
favorite.
no. Look, my favorite is often one where someone has been very skeptical of the process at the beginning. And I had a call, it was maybe a year ago, maybe a bit more than a year ago, from an accounting firm, and a very traditional accounting firm. And the owner of the accounting firm said at the beginning of the call, he said, "Adam, this is the worst call I've ever had to do." And I was like, "What have I done? What have I, like, how have I upset you?" It was like at the beginning. And he's like, "Look, you obviously haven't really delved into my LinkedIn." And I'd looked at his website, I knew, but I hadn't really looked into a lot of his postings. And he was doing a lot of these postings that remote work and outsourcing was going to be the downfall of the local accounting, because all the jobs were going to go offshore, is what he was saying. Now, so I said to him, okay, and now he's like going to my LinkedIn. I went with LinkedIn on the call. I was like, okay, so why are you here? He said, "I'm here because I've been trying to hire, we've got so much growth. I've been trying to hire accountants locally in the area that I am for the last 8 months, and I haven't been able to get anyone. I've tried. And so I'm letting clients down with service, and I need people to support our in-house accountants so they can get the job done to perform." And so very skeptical. We went through it. He said, "Look, I'm very skeptical this is going to work, but I've got no choice." So we went through the process, and now, a year later, he's got a team of 5, actually. And so he's got 5 like accounting assistants, and then a number of senior accountants that he's then hired as well, because it does work. So he's also hired more people locally because now he's got the support for them. So what generally happens with these type of case studies is you find the offshore support to take the roles that you either can't find internally, or there's a cost saving, or more. It is a way to support your local team to actually do more. And, really, if you combine outsourcing with AI, you've got a powerhouse combination, in 2024, 2025.
What does that look like comparing outsourcing with AI?
Well, the thing is, it's outsourcing and AI is really the key to it. And what I mean by that is AI gives someone who hasn't had the education or necessarily experience a powerhouse tool to become as good as someone that has. And where we've really seen this is, uh, in the legal profession, in finance, in accounting, where giving the right in sales for QA and improving script writing and conversions in marketing, when you give someone remotely at a lower price point AI tools, they become, you're paying them at $7 an hour, but they become more powerful than someone locally who's $80 an hour who isn't utilizing those AI tools. So that's a really powerful combination that we've really seen explode.
That is interesting. That's actually something I kind of wanted to ask you about a little bit, is like the future of where this is kind of going. Because obviously you're with
Yeah.
BruntWork, kind of on the frontier here with, working remotely and kind of pushing the bounds there of what you can do. where do you think this is going to evolve to? Do you think most people generally will start working remotely worldwide? Do you think other technologies like AI, for example, can play a larger role in, making that happen? Like, what are your kind of thoughts, being in this space a little bit?
Yeah. Look, I think it's going to be an interesting next few years. I think a lot of companies now, and we see it with our growth, they're coming to us because they're going, I've now got the capability because I'm used to technology like Zoom, etc., or Microsoft Teams or project management tools where I want the best person in the world at the best price and I can manage them. And that's what really we try and deliver. It's not now I need a copywriter, I need a video editor, it's like, okay, and I'm just looking in my local town, it's now, or even in my country, it's now, I want the best in the world for the value for money. So there's really, it's a global employment play to set you apart from competitors. And if you can do that at a lower cost, then even better. Where AI is coming is really making someone, again, a video editor in the Philippines or Africa or South America, once they've got the right tools, then they can massively improve their productivity and efficiency and the quality of their output. So there are some roles that are going to be taken away by AI, low-level roles, potentially things like live chat and customer support, etc., which were traditional areas that you could outsource. But the roles to manage those AI tools and to get the outcome from it, I think, can be really well managed by an outsourced team or remote team. So it's going to be an interesting next few years. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. And then with BruntWork, what's kind of on your guys' roadmap, going into the new year in 2025? Are you going to be introducing anything different with BruntWork potentially? New features for workers or clients or anything that's kind of on the horizon?
Yeah, look, in this space, it's always you got to be at the forefront to win. Like that's where you've got to be. And so for us, it's all about look at the real focus over the next 12 months is the technology play. AI is playing a difference. It's made we've done an enormous investment over the past 12 months to incorporate it into our own business, and we're continuing to incorporate it in our own business to give the best experience to our clients. So we do well as a business when a client needs a remote agent or staff member to work for them, and we find the best person and give them the best support. So we also give our agents private health insurance. We also manage days off once they get through probationary periods. We built in-house platforms to help manage staff effectively. Data security is a big issue that we've invested a lot in. We've got SOC 2, we've got HIPAA, we've got ISO, GDPR, PCI. So, combining all those things, there's a lot of projects. 2025 for us is just growing bigger and faster, but not at the expense of the quality of the product. And that comes from investment in technology.
Well, you got me sold. I need to add some people to my team and start growing as well. So like myself and anyone that's similar that wants to get started, where should they go? Do they start at the website from there and fill out a form, or what's the process?
Yeah. So look, you want to try some of our technology, you go to our website, try our live chat, and that's all AI integrated from our tech. So worth going in and getting some job descriptions from the live chat and testing that out. We do have contact forms on the website that you can have a look at the information and book a discovery call directly from the website easily. Or contact me directly. Adam at bruntwork.co is my email. You can go and see me on my LinkedIn. If you mention this podcast, happy to give you $500 credit off your first invoice. So mention this and save $500. That's US dollars if any global audience is listening. So mention the podcast, save some money, and try us out. And it's risk-free anyway in terms of the process.
Awesome. And I usually ask people this, but do you guys have a community at all of workers or clients or?
Look, we do on once you're with our agents, we certainly do. Our clients Less so. We cover so many different industries and so many different roles that there's the way we do that is I travel a lot in person to meet clients, and I bring clients together when I do that. So we host a lot of dinners globally. I'm traveling. I'll be in Europe this month, and then I'll be in the US West Coast. I was in the US East Coast last month, and bringing key clients together. So we try and have a bit of community from that side. Agents have a large community that work for us, and we have a big social media community with hundreds of thousands of followers and engagement on that basis.
So Adam, thank you for taking the time to come on and talk more about what you guys are doing with BruntWork. I think it's something that will be very helpful for a lot of people that are looking for these opportunities, whether you're a worker that's listening to this or you're another company. I know there's a lot of companies that also listen into the show that might want to be a client. So Adam, thank you for sharing all that. All the links will be in the description down below. Shoot me over anything else you think that they should have access to, and I'll make sure that it's convenient for them. But thanks, man. It's been great.
Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.